Here's how I got top 1 in merge tactics using only the Royale King. Okay, so I physically cannot find a match in Diamond right now because there are only 7 people in Diamond. So we're going to be playing some games on my alt account with the King. Now, of course, I'm going to get the Goblins. With the King, you always want to be grabbing the Goblins whenever you can. They're super important because they help with elixir generation. But I wouldn't fret because all the moves I'm going to be making today are the exact same as I would make. So if you replicate the exact moves, you're going to be able to get to Diamond very easily. These are the exact moves I would make. So even though we're on our alt account, and we do lose. So what I like to do, my strategy-wise, is I like to lose the first 2 games with the King. I like to always lose the first 2 games if I can. If I can't lose the first 2 games, at least 2 of the first 3. So all I do is I like to just buy cheap, and we don't get much else, so this is fine. And chat, the thing is, you should never be afraid of losing with the King, in my opinion. That is my biggest tip. Because if you lose, you get 4 to 8 elixir. That's so good. So losing is actually good. And that's why I didn't put my Goblin on the Swift tile here, because I actually kind of want to lose, right? Because I'll get the 4 to 8 elixir. So this is going to be very good. And the reason why the King is so good right now is there are 2 reasons. The first is that the King recently got a buff. Are we going to win? Okay, we lose. This is literally picture perfect. You want to lose with 1 troop alive on their field. So you only take 2 damage. And you get 4 elixir just like that. So now we're just going to try to merge, and our space is a bit full, which is a bit unfortunate. I'm just going to sell that, though. This should be fine. And even if we lose again, like, we're going to get elixir. Losing 3 times in a row, I do that so much because you get, what? If you lose 3 times in a row, you get 4 to 8 elixir per loss. So meaning you get 12 to 24 elixir per loss, or in total for losing 3 times in a row. And on average, you get 18, I believe. So imagine that. 18 guaranteed elixir every game from just losing 3 times. It's so easy. There's no skill involved. All you need to do is just sack 3 rounds, try to take minimal health damage, and you get a guaranteed 18 elixir. That is a reason why it's so good. Of course, the first is that the King got a buff from 4 elixir now to 4 to 8. And the second is that you can get a guaranteed, on average, 18 elixir at least per game, which is so good. Now we get the 3-star Spear Goblin, or the Ranger, the Dark Goblin. Let's just sell that, though, and let's go for the comp, chat. The best comp I've been going for is the 4 Brawlers comp plus Princess and Executioner. Now, the biggest thing here is that you actually have to sort of be able to cycle fast when you're playing the King, because a lot of cases you have to do stuff in 1 round. So we're going to put the Peck on the Swift tile. Now that I'm at 5 elixir, I actually want to try to survive. You generally don't really want to go below 5 elixir, because 5 elixir, you basically 2-tap. Like, in most cases, you'll survive 1 round and then be on 1 HP, but you don't want to be on 1 HP because that's very risky. The name of the game with the King is you want to try to get consistent guaranteed seconds and sometimes first. You just want to outlast the other rulers. It's not a ruler where you try to go for first guaranteed. Don't get greedy like that. Just try to go for guaranteed seconds at least. So let's upgrade the Executioner. Let's try to upgrade the other cards in our comp. And honestly, I could sell the Princess here, but we are up against a dead guy. So that's probably fine for now. So I'm just going to go for the double Goblins here just because we're facing the dead King player, just to squeeze out a bit more of elixir here. But the big reason King is so good in high elo lobbies in particular is that in mixed elo or mixed ruler lobbies, so you see how we're facing 2 battle machines, 1 King, where it's very diverse. The King is going to be good, but he's not going to be busted. However, because we're in a Loom meta, when you get to like gold 3 or just very high elo where you start facing 3 Looms, the King directly counters the Loom because, like I mentioned earlier, you get guaranteed elixir early game. The Loom thrives in the early game. That's the whole strategy when you're in 3 Loom lobbies. They want to just knock everyone out first, outlast them in the early game, just so they can kind of butt heads with each other and face off in the late game, where, of course, if you're facing in a 3 Loom lobby, it's going to be completely balanced because it's the same ruler. However, let's sell that. Let's go for the 3-star Executioner. The biggest tip I have as well is you never want to sell 1-stars for the most part, because every time you sell 1-stars, you lose 1 elixir, and you can't get that elixir back as you would with the Spirit Empress. You cannot get that elixir back. So every time you sell a 1-star, you're losing elixir. So try to sell 2-stars as much as you can, because you will not lose elixir. You'll break even with the King. So that's very good. And I wouldn't really sell 2-stars with the King unless you know you can make it back. For example, if you have, 0 elixir, you shouldn't really sell a 2-star because, I mean, you're not going to make it back. You're just going to get a weaker comp. But if you have a lot of 1-star troops lined up and you sell, like, let's say in this case, I sold the Princess, I think that's fine because we're probably going to make it back. We have a lot of extra elixir and we have extra boards, extra copies of troops on the board that we have that are readily available to merge. But basically, as I was saying, in full Loong lobbies with the king, you get guaranteed, what, 12 elixir to 18 if you lose the first 3 rounds. So you get so much elixir early on, so you can actually just beat out these king players early game because you have such a huge elixir economy advantage from the get-go. So you can just completely do so much damage to these guys and outlast them, so you can get guaranteed second place a lot. I was playing to Diamond on stream earlier today with only the king, and from 2500 to 3k, I think I only lost maybe 8 times because we consistently got second. The king is the most consistent ruler because you consistently just get a good 12 to 18 elixir in every single game because you just easily lose and you just get so much elixir guaranteed. On to game 2, we get the legendary star. So a very good modifier. We started with a bit of elixir. I'm just going to buy cheap here, go for that Skelly drag, bench my bandits so nobody sees it, and we're just going to try to go for the goblins here. And I'll merge and sell if I have to. I'll sell that. And we do get the goblin, so this is very good. The double goblin start is the best start you could have with the king because, look, yeah, goblins are weaker inherently, so you might lose. You probably will lose the first round, but remember, since you're playing the king, it doesn't matter if you lose. In fact, we want to lose. So this is going to be a perfect loss here. We're going to lose to the 2-star ghost, and we get the goblin. So we take 2 HP, and we get 4 to 8 elixir and a goblin. This is perfect. So what I like to do is, if I get 2 goblins early, I'm just going to take that merge, just exhaust my elixir supply, try to go for double goblins, and what I probably will do is just stay for one more round with double goblins here, because if we lose, that's fine. We're against 3 witches. I think if I put in the wizard, I think we still lose. But it's all about damage control, so I'm just going to put in the wizard. I want a decent comp to try to survive with, or at least to try not to take too much damage. I think if we do this, we're not going to take too much damage. I think maybe only one of the witches are going to be alive. Yeah, because the witches are going to spawn skeletons. The wizard's going to get splash damage, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. Yeah, like this dark goblin's getting swarmed. We're probably not going to be able to take out even one witch. So if you take 2 to 3 damage, that's ideal. 3 damage is a bit, like, it's obviously not optimal, but 3 damage is still acceptable in my opinion. So we just had 2 rounds with goblins, and we just get so much elixir from that. You basically just snowball for the rest of the game if you take just 2 losses guaranteed. And I might actually just do another round here because, I mean, I could sell and get a strong comp, right? I don't know. I'm kind of hesitant about it. I think I'll just stay. There's no big reason to sell, I feel like. I mean, selling is okay, but even if we keep it, we get a 3-star goblin. It's relatively strong, and we still get double goblins. So I think for now it's okay just to keep these goblins. Also, selling the dark goblin is not a bad move either because you get a strong comp. But again, I'm going to go for the Brawler's comp. The Brawler's comp is just so good with the king because it's relatively cheap and it's just an effective comp. So I think we actually do win. So that's fine. Like, what I like to do with the king is, like, worst case, if I undershot my comp and I win, I win. I don't lose HP, so it's not the worst. But anyways, guys, let's try to go for the full Brawler's comp. We're not really getting any merges, which kind of sucks here. Now we get merges, but we're going to try to go for that Mega Knight as our final card here. Let's sell the 2-star Barb. You always want to try to sell 2 stars. Never sell 1 stars with the king, because with the Empress, you can easily make that elixir back. But with the king, you cannot make that elixir back. So you have to be so careful with the king. And what I like doing is, obviously you've seen me cycle very quickly with the Empress, but when I play the king, I like going a bit more slow. I like being a bit more careful with my purchases, make sure I don't mess up any buy at all, because you can't make that elixir back really with the king. So you have to be very careful. And we do have our full comp already. We have the Executioner on the bench, so this is exactly the comp you want to go for. You also have I also have an extra copy of the Mega Knight and the Executioner, so this is very good. I like going a bit slowly. Let's sell the Mega Knight here. Always sell the 2 stars. And generally what you want to do with the 2 stars is, if you think you can get an infinite cycle, not an infinite, I guess, but a big cycle from selling a 2-star, then definitely do that in my opinion. But however, if you don't think you're going to get anything from selling a 2-star, like let's say your shop, it's just very rare that you're going to get a good shop. This is very good. However, I will probably just save because we're against a dead guy. We don't need to like force. Because remember, every time we sell a 1-star, we lose 1 elixir. I don't really want to lose any elixir here, but since we're going to win anyways. So let's do that. We're just going to take this guy out pretty quickly here. The goblins, the ghost getting quite a bit of value, but we're going to take him out very quickly. But for example, let's say you have a 2-star Mega Knight. You're going to sell that for 7 elixir. And let's say in this case, I have 4 cards on my bench. If I sell the 2-star Mega Knight and get 7 elixir, I'll get 9. So there's a pretty high likelihood that I'll be able to merge and sell the rest of these cards, because think of all the cards on your bench as just like sitting elixir. You can convert them into elixir if you merge and sell at no loss. So that's what you kind of want to try to do. you kind of want to just be able to merge and sell these for no loss and get more elixir through that. It's sort of like temporary elixir storages on your bench. That's how I look at it. Anyways, so this guy is running the battle machine, but he's also running assassin, so I kind of want an anti-assassin here. Our comp is a bit weak, but remember, my number one tip with the king is if you have above like even 5 HP, I would never be afraid to lose. In my opinion, losing is a blessing if you lose and you don't take too much damage. If you lose and you survive, losing is a blessing in my opinion. Every loss until 1 HP is a blessing, and that's something you should take advantage of in my opinion. So even if you lose, that's a good thing. That's what I really like about the king. If you win in the late game, cool, you save HP. If you lose, you get elixir. So it's never bad in my opinion to lose. So hopefully we get, okay, we don't really get anything. But the king is such a good ruler because see, we're able to keep up with the battle machine. He has a 3-star pump as a king. We don't have anything special, no elixir per merge. The fact that we can keep up as a king player just from taking an easy guaranteed 2 to 3 losses in a game is just so good. It doesn't take that much skill to do this, by the way. Any of you guys can do this, play the king, because all you need to do is just kind of know your interactions, just kind of look at the matchup and be like, okay, let me just try to lose, but maybe lose by only 2 to 3 HP. If you can do that, you can take a guaranteed basically 2 to 3 losses without any major risk, and you get a free 8 to 16 elixir, even a free 12 to 24 elixir if you do that. And unfortunately, we're still, this guy's 1 HP, but I mean, we're still gonna be good. Let's spy the Valkyrie. Okay, let's merge and sell it. Let's get the bandit here. I'm just gonna force because we could eliminate this guy here, so we're gonna try to go for, yeah, exactly. Execution upgrade's very good. And let's try to go for some more upgrades here. Mega Knight's also good. If we get a 3-star Mega Knight, that would be... We get a 3-star Mega Knight, so that's awesome. But all you need to do with the king is just lose the first 2 rounds, or first, I would say at least 2 of the first 3 rounds. And you get guaranteed elixir every single game. The king is the most consistent ruler, in my opinion, because you get a free elixir every single game. The Empress, she's good late game, but some games you can't do anything about it. The king, very rarely do you get unplayable games. Okay, so we get another epic star. This is a great modifier. Let's try to go for goblins, of course. As always, we can even sell the 2-star. Remember, we don't need to have a strong comp in round 1. We can have a weak comp. Let's go for the goblin. Every time you get the option of getting goblins or a merge, you always get the goblin. Because remember, a merge isn't helping you, really. It's making you break even. Because with the king, if you merge and sell, you break even. So just go for the goblin. That's completely fine. That's better in this case. Unfortunately, I did try to not buy this 2-star goblin because I thought maybe it would make our comp too powerful. I still wanted to lose, but a bit of a miscall. In a lot of cases, you're going to make misjudgments if you don't know the interactions. I think you just have to play a crap ton to just know all the interactions by heart. Even I don't know all the interactions by heart, so we're going to take a few misses like that. But we got the 3-star spear goblin, and I'm probably just going to keep the spear again. If I get 2 goblins early on, I always just like going the 2 goblins 2 rounds in a row, and then after that being flexible. But in this case, I don't really want to put in the princess. I'm probably going to put in the skeleton dragons, take the prince charge, because I feel like if I put in the princess and have good placement, we might win. But my goal here, remember, is I want to lose 2 rounds in a row. I personally like losing 2 rounds in a row. Some people might disagree with that. I just like sacking the first 2 rounds. That has worked well for me because we just get such a huge elixir advantage that you could easily just snowball the game and survive. Now let's just try to go for some merges here. Okay, so I actually are going to cycle now because I just have so much elixir. It wouldn't really make sense for me to just stay because it wouldn't make a huge difference. So let's just try to go for the brawlers now. And we get the Mega Knight, the Barb as well. We just need the Prince now. Okay, we do get that. That's really good. The Princess as well. The last card I need is the Prince. I'm not really getting it, but that's probably fine. Let's merge and upgrade that. But if you can't run the brawlers comp, then the next best comp in my opinion is probably full clan because all you need to do is, clan's also pretty cheap. You get Wizard 2 elixir, Barb 2 elixir, Valk 3 elixir. Queen is the only expensive one at 5 elixir, but all the other cards are cheap. Clan's another cheap and effective comp. And all the Empress players are going to be running Superstar. A lot of other players are going to be running Superstar. So clan and brawlers are a lot less contested. Let's merge and sell those guys. We get the Barb. Now all we need is the Prince here. So hopefully we can actually get the Prince. No Prince there. I don't think I sell that. I don't think I sell that. Okay, that's where the Prince is. He has a 3-star Prince. So that's going to be kind of a problem. I think what I will do is I'm fine for now because we have the Princess. But I could probably just go full clan if I have to. Just swap out the P.E.K.K.A. and the Mega Knight for the full clan. I think we might honestly win this. We just have to outlast other players here, and I think we should be fine. We're going to snipe the Wizard. That's really good. Hopefully we get a really good jump from the Mega Knight here. That's awesome. Yeah, we're going to completely destroy this guy, so that's very good. But a lot of people these days are running Superstar, and you actually can beat Superstar with this comp because you have the Princess and the Executioner, which are very good at splash damage, and you can actually take out the Witch. So this comp is actually pretty decent against Superstar. So you can actually get first in some decent cases. Obviously, look, if you face a maxed out Superstar comp, you're probably not going to beat that for sure. But if you're a bit over leveled, which is possible in some cases, you can win. For now though, we don't have the Prince, so we have to just use the mini P.E.K.K.A, try to get that P.E.K.K.A trait. But this is what I mean. The Battle Machine cannot compete because although he gets a 3-star building, number one, that building is just completely RNG. You don't know which one you're going to get. And number two, the King gets so much more elixir. I can 3-star multiple units when you can't. So the Battle Machine, in my opinion, is just not very good. So let's try to go for that Dark Goblin here. I just really need the Prince here, so we're probably just going to wait. But if you run the King currently where I'm at in very mixed ruler lobbies, it's going to be pretty... I mean, it's still going to be good. Don't get me wrong. You could still climb easily with the King. But if you play in full Loom lobbies, the King will destroy. Like earlier on stream, I was playing on stream. That's how I hit Diamond. I was in full Loom lobbies, of course, in Gold 3. And I was smoking every Loom player I faced. I was getting at least top 2 in like probably 80% of my games. So the King is a direct counter to Loom. So if you don't like the Loom meta and you're facing a lot of Looms, you need to be using the King here. And we need to get this Prince, so I'll probably merge the Royal Ghost, sell him, and I think I might just have to go for Clan, unfortunately, here, because we get the Wizard, which is... Wait, I just saw a Prince there. Okay, we just got a Prince, so that's so good. Now we have the full Brawler. This is the exact comp you want to go for. We're against a dead guy here, the Battle Machine, so it's just going to be a very easy win. But this is sort of what I was saying. Everyone thought I was trolling for saying King is number 1. Well, this video is living proof King... I'm not trolling when I say King is number 1. The King can literally just stomp like every single ruler except for the Empress. So this is the tricky part. We're against the Spirit Empress. I'm going to sell the Musketeer here just because, I mean, I don't want to sell a Prince, right? It's just too risky. We didn't have a backup Prince. This is the problem. If you're facing Empress late game, she is better than the King late game because she has infinite elixir late game. The King does not. Although the King gets a lot of elixir, it's not infinite. So this is the one issue. However, I mean... Truth be told, we're in 1,000 elo, like we should probably be able to beat this guy, but if you're in like Gold 3 and you're facing a good Empress player, you probably will lose, but that's not to worry because the King strategy is basically to get guaranteed seconds and lose a lot less. The strategy with the Empress is you'll get fourth sometimes, but you'll win and you'll get more first place. So you get first and fourths. The King strat is just to get consistent seconds and sometimes get first. In some cases, you'll get thirds, but that's the best King strategy for all of you guys. The King is not a trash ruler. The King is one of the best rulers, if not the best ruler for beginners, in my opinion, right now. I would definitely pick up the King if you have not tried him out. And other than that, guys, if you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.